Hi, and welcome to another video. So this video isn't sponsored by Dehancer, but they gave me a 1-month free license to test it for you guys and give you an honest review on it. Okay, for those of you that don't know what Dehancer is. Dehancer is a company that created a plugin, a film emulation plugin for your video editor. So if you want to go out there and try to make your footage look more filmic, this plugin is probably what you want to go for. So let's find out what this plugin can do. Dehancer is providing you with a bunch of film emulation, black and white and color. There's film emulations like Aqua, then you have Cinestill 800T, good for low light. Then you have Fuji Eterna, Fuji Rela, Fuji Chrome, Eastman, the black and white, Ektachrome. Then you have Kodak Gold, Portra 400. Yeah, so Portra 400, which is worth gold. But you also get the Kodak Vision 3. Films like the last James Bond was filmed on Kodak Vision 3, and you get 50D up to 500T. There are so many reviews that are guiding you through the whole plug-in. Let me just show you some footage and I explain what actually does film mean and what does it mean in emulations. If you use Dehancer like I do in DaVinci Resolve, you can either go with CSTs or you can choose your camera inside the plug-in. And all the footage you see in this video is graded with Dehancer in DaVinci, but in the plugin Dehancer. So besides all the films, you are able to choose the way the film would actually be printed. You can choose between linear, Kodak and glossy paper, Fujifilm 3513, and Kodak 2383, probably the most common film print you see in movies. If you have chosen your film roll like Kodak Vision 3 and the way of printing like Kodak 2383, Dehancer gives you the characters, the film characters, typical film characters. So if you have chosen, and those are the characters that we try to achieve when we say we want to make a film or our footage look cinematic or filmic. First of all, and if there's one true film character, I'd say besides the dynamic range, it would be halation. Halation is a chemical characteristic of film, so it's a true indicator for a film look. Let me explain it. A film consists of 3 layers. There's blue, green and red. Don't mark me on this sequence, but red is the last one. The light is traveling through your lens and it exposes the film roll. But some of the light is bouncing off the back of the camera and red gets exposed from the back of the camera. This is what creates the red line on high contrast edges. And they do a real good job at it. What else do we have? Oh yeah, we have bloom. So bloom is something we try to achieve with thread-on filters like promised filters from Black Tiffin, and they bloom the highlights, but they also raise the shadows. And I gotta say, they also do a good job at blooming the highlights. What's the most interesting part of it is that you can add bloom in post. So that would mean you can run and gun without having to mess with thread-on filters that tend to stuck on your lens or fall off just like that. Plus, you can decide how much blooming you want. So there's no deciding, do I want to go for a quarter, an eighth of diffusion. Having the control over your blooming in post means you have one less thing you have to worry about and can focus on your composition, lighting when you're outside shooting. And what I truly appreciate on Dehancer is the mask. This shows you how much impact your editing actually has on your image. You also can play around with some vignetting, film breathing, so highlights are pulsing, like they get bright, dark, and you have the possibility to gate weave. Gate weave is when the film is jumping from left to right in the camera. I think those two are awesome for music videos to have a quick effect on it, but also if you have a scene in your film that is showing the past, so it gives it a little bit of vintage look. It is great. Now let's get into my favorite tool in Dehancer, is the film grain. I think any video editor program does have grain, does have the option to add grain to your footage. But in DaVinci, it is more like an overlay, so your subject is moving behind the grain. The difference is Dehancer is calculating your footage and bakes the grain into it, which is giving this more organic looks. It takes off all the digital sharpness and adds this smooth color roll off, contrast roll off to your image and footage. It makes it so smooth. I can't grade this with DaVinci's grains. So this alone does make it worth to go for Dehancer. The only complaint I have about it, if you get a lifetime DaVinci Resolve for around 400 bucks, a plug-in shouldn't top that. Yes, you do get all the film emulations, and they are good. From what I heard is that they are not the true film roll image look-alike, but they get pretty close. And I think most of us just try to add a little bit more spice to the footage with a plugin like Dehancer. If they go down with the price, there are more people buying it because it just makes your footage look much greater and is so easy to use, even in the mobile app, which is great. I'm gonna do a review on this too. But if you think about buying the Dehancer, I think you should go for it. No doubt about it. I'm going for it. So if that's helping you in any kind of way, and the Dehancer crew was so nice to give me a 10% off code that you find in the description. So use it. I'm gonna get a little bit off your purchase. So just type in dehancer.com, find your video editor, and type in the code. No, just go for it. Try it. I think you have a week to try Dehancer. You should probably do this, and just be nice and type in my code, and I see you in the next one. Peace.